Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for coming to our psychologist for workshop today. In this next opportunity, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bernice Adwitya and I'm responsible for a psychologist. The purpose of today's presentation is to discuss about the dangers of overthinking. And I would like to cover 3 points. Firstly, definition of overthinking. Secondly, impact of overthinking. And finally, how to overcome overthinking. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, please leave them until the end when I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I'd like to start by definition of overthinking. Does anyone know what is overthinking? According to psychology, overthinking is thinking constantly about something negative. Overthinking takes at least 2 forms. First is reflecting on unpleasant events in the past. For example, by thinking like, if only I hadn't done that. Second, worrying about something that hasn't happened yet in the future. Okay, that's all I have to say about overthinking. Now, let's move on to impact of overthinking. First, impact on mental disorders. Overthinking increases your chance of having a mental disorder. There was a 2013 study published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology that said overthinking past mistakes can increase the risk of mental disorders. Now, there may be some of you who still can't accept past events. For example, a broken heart, a job rejection, or the death of a loved one. As a result, you might keep thinking about it. This can increase your chance of developing mental disorders. Next, difficult to solve problems. Overthinking makes it difficult to solve problems. Why? Because research shows the people who overthinking feel that they are trying to understand and solve their problems. Unfortunately, overthinking seems to interfere with their problem solving. Experimental studies have shown that overthinking encourages people to view their problems as overwhelming and insoluble. For example, you may have overthinking when you are faced with a problem. Let's say you left your admit card behind when you were about to take exam. Then you tend to think about the card instead of finding a solution. As a result, the problem in your mind continues to grow instead of decreasing. Third is impaired sleep quality. Overthinking disrupts your sleep quality. Research shows that there is a relationship between worry due to overthinking and sleep quality, because it turns out that overthinking is the main cause of someone's insomnia. Well, this is certainly not good for yourself, because it will disrupt your sleep hours, which can affect your daily productivity. Well, I have told you about impact of overthinking. Moving on to the last section, I will show you about how to overcome overthinking. First is evaluate what actually happened. You can try to evaluate what actually makes you overthinking. And be honest with what you feel at this stage. It's important to be honest with yourself at this stage. By knowing this, hopefully you can think clearly in taking the next step. For example, You're really upset thinking about your boyfriend. Well, you can start thinking about what you're upset about from him. Of course, you have to be honest with yourself what you really feel at that time. Second is talk to people you trust. Try to tell what you're really thinking to the people closest to you. You can ask those who may have had the same problem as you. Hopefully, you can broaden your perspective on your thoughts and problems. For example, you have a problem on campus that you keep thinking about. Well, you can tell your problem to someone you trust. After talking to him, you can ask for his opinion on how to solve your problem. And then, third is express your thoughts through writing. Remember that you can't always rely on others because they may also have busy lives that can be left behind. Through writing, you don't have to worry about being yourself. For example, you are overthinking and confused about who to tell. Alternatively, you can start writing on your thinking about. It can be through notes your phone, on your laptop, or even a diary if you have one. The important thing is that you can channel your overthinking through positive things. So that's an overview of how to overcome overthinking. That brings us to the end of the final section. Now, if I can just summarize, that overthinking is a negative behavior. From the explanation that has been conveyed, the impact is very bad for all of us. We should eliminate this bad habit from now. Of course, in a positive ways, as mentioned earlier. And the most important thing is to love ourselves. In conclusion, we all need to change to healthier lifestyle by not overthinking, and a healthy and calm mind will also nourish our body and mentality. So that's all my explanation about the dangers of overthinking. Is there anything you want to ask? Okay, if there are no questions, I will end to this presentation. Thank you all for listening. It was a pleasure being here today. Bye bye.